We are live tonight. We are. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. If you're catching this on the replay, hey, just stick around. But if you're new to us, do that thumbs up. Very important. Subscribe to the channel. Even more important. That's all you got to do. Don't be shy. That's another thing.
They don't call me the BOGO King for no reason.
It's a beautiful evening, so to speak. It's going to be a little chilly tonight. The neighbor's dog's wanting to play with our dog. I look good tonight? Yeah, I look good tonight. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Birds are out. Birds are fed. Dogs fed. Everybody's fed. Monday's trash day for all of you guys who didn't know that. So we got all the trash out of the house. There's Missy's channel. Good to see you this evening. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the likes and thumbs up and the hearts and all that good stuff. We appreciate you very much. Just kind of getting started tonight. And it's a beautiful evening, but it's a little chilly here. Claudine, how are you? Good to see you. We're doing pretty good, you know. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my dog. Had a doctor's appointment today, but other than that, we're doing pretty good. You know, good weather, I guess. Hola from Valverde, good to see you. Norderia, I hope I said that right. Good to see you. Thank you all for the thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Check out Missy's channel too while you're here. Let me know if you have a YouTube channel. Do you need help growing your channel? Anything we can do for you, let me know. Give a shout out to everybody. We got 18,000 people in the house. Everybody give us a thumbs up. Don't be shy. We're always happy to help. But yeah, we had a good Monday. You know, we're good Monday. Good as it can be. We had to go run down to the doctor, just has a check-in, and no big deal. But other than that, came home. It's Monday, so we cleaned house. Monday's our trash day. We got to get all the trash out. So, but all of you wonderful people in the background who's too shy to speak up, say hello to Missy's channel for me if you would. Let us know about your own. What's going on in your part of the world? Anything exciting? Any news? You know, anything you want to share? Any questions you want to ask about America or the Philippines or my wife or my girlfriend or my dog or whatever it may be? You like my shirt? Yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. I've wore it, you know, it's held up really well. It's starting to kind of get some age to it because I've had it about 7 or 8 years and I wear it a lot. But I can tell it's starting to, you know, get some wear and tear on it. But I love tropical shirts, if you guys don't know, and hats. That's kind of my thing. Watches. I try to match my tropical shirt with my hat. The vibe, you know. But this is one of my, this is a, this shirt works really good in the heat. So, you know, it's like being in the Philippines or when we're down in Aruba, you know, and it's really hot. You know, you're sweating, and this thing works really well for this type of shirt. So it kind of airs out and dries pretty quickly, which is nice. So, but Missy, you want to drop a link to your channel, you're always welcome. Remember, anybody who's blue can drop anything they want at any time, no asking. I got a new hummingbird feeder in I'm all excited about. I guess you know you're getting old when you get excited about bird feeders, right? So I got a brand new hummingbird feeder in I'm really, really excited about. It's such a good quality. I understand. I don't know how to do it on my phone either. I can drop my link if I choose to, like on my desktop. I don't even know how to do it on my iPad. So let's see if I can say that right. Adipat, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. How are you? Let me know where you're from. Thank you for the thumbs up and subscribing. Billy's in the house. Looking good, bro. Thank you, Billy. How about you? How's your day going? You guys subscribe to Missy's channel for me, please. You guys have any YouTube channels yourselves? Where are you from? Any questions about America or about how good looking I am? I can share my secret, how good looking I am. So we'll kind of wait a while until everybody gets in here tonight before I tell the story about my first date that my wife made me go on a first date. So kind of a funny story that we're going to tell and ask some questions from the audience. So, but Billy, good to see you. It's good to see everybody. You know, we get so many diverse people on this live stream, which is very exciting, and I love that. I love the fact that I talk to people from Australia, Pakistan, Russia, India, South America. Man, Jovine, how are you? Wow, I have a really good friend named Jovan. How are you? I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Watching from Hell's Kitchen, New York City. All right, nice. Wow. Jovan or Jovine, where are you from, may I ask? What country, state, are you in America? Our good friend Pat's in the house. Pat, good evening, everybody. He says, everybody said hello. One thing I really like everybody to do is say hello to each other. You know, you guys can say hi to Pat and Missy and Billy and Jovine. You guys can just take a second and say hi to each other, right? You're from the Philippines. Nice. Which part of the Philippines? My wife's from Cebu City. Claude's in the house. There's my buddy Claude. How are you, man? I watched your video about the Social Security thing. I'm going to do some research on that myself. So Pat says, nice to meet you. You know, remember, if you're blue, you can drop a link. Blue channels we know blue people have a YouTube channel for the most part, if you guys want to subscribe to them. So, Javine, do you have a YouTube channel yourself there in the Philippines? And which part of the Philippines are you from? And one of these days, I got some videos coming out about OFWs. Pat says, hello, Claude. Mango Sub Prime. No, I don't know you, so you got to wait a little while until we get to know each other. So I don't make anybody blue unless I know them pretty well. Baggy out, nice. Music's playing. That was weird. Yeah, it's cold outside. Yeah, it's in the, it got down in the 50s here. You're down south. I gotta wait a while, Pat says. Claude says, let me get caught up. I'm trying to make sure. Baggy Owl, making sure life is actually better in the Philippines. There you go. Gotta wait a while. It's getting cold outside, baby. Yeah, it's Pat says it's 50 where he's at. It is. I don't like the cold weather. You know, I'm gonna just to get you guys all ready. Is this September, right? So I'll try not to bitch about the cold weather until we start October. And then I'll bitch until June. I mean, we had a very short summer this year. It really seemed like our summer was short. I mean, okay, here you go. Thank you. There you go. You guys, Subscribe to Missy's channel for me if you would. It'd be great of y'all. Pat and Claude has channels. We appreciate all of you. Let's make, did you guys all say hello to our new friend Jovine from the Philippines? You guys make sure you guys say hello to her. We got somebody, I don't know, how do you pronounce your name? Estevan, maybe? Estevan? From Mindanao. Welcome in, thank you. How's Mindanao these days? How is it? What's going on in your world? What's for dinner? Well, you know, okay, let me tell you. I made some ribs over the weekend for my wife because she wanted, apparently she didn't like them. So, and I don't really eat ribs too much. So my dog this week is going to be getting ribs all week long. So my dog is extremely happy about dinner time. Personally, I just ate potato salad. That's all I eat for dinner is potato salad. So Estevan says, beautiful. Subscribe to your channel, Missy. Pat did, thank you. Pagao it is. It's the part of the Philippines that can get down in the 60s. So it is. It's also a big tourist area. The real question is Baguio still worth visiting? What do you think, Jovine? Do you think people should come to Baguio and visit, or are you kind of tired of the tourist? Pulled pork, ooh, I'd like to have that. Oh my gosh. Yum, 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 yum. I like pulled pork sandwiches, buddy. I made pork ribs, but she told me today, she's like, I think they smell funny. I'm like, well, my dog Lily doesn't give a crap, but they smell funny or not. So Lily's getting to eat ribs this week. Leave a comment so I can trail you to your channel. That's right. You know, Banana, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Good to see y'all all. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel too. So subscribe to all the blue channels, but please subscribe to mine too. I remember Cracker Barrel used to make pulled pork and they stopped that. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you about Cracker Barrel. I'm not mad at Cracker Barrel because they tried to go, I don't know if they truly went woke. I don't mind them trying to freshen up their image. I thought the sign was stupid, their logo, but I liked how bright it was. I like restaurants that are clean. And I always thought, and I like Cracker Barrel, but I always thought Cracker Barrel was kind of dirty inside. You know, I'm one of those dirty folks. So I didn't mind them repainting the buildings. But what I did find out, because the only thing I eat there is the meatloaf. Well, and I guess I should have thought about this. The meatloaf just comes in big boxes, already made. They just warm it up, and then they cut it up and serve it to you. I'm so disappointed. It's not even real. Jovine, let me get Banana Man loves you as well as Jesus. All right, Banana Man. Good. I don't know who Banana Man is, but thank you for the love. Jovine says they are good people. Oh, absolutely. There's good people all over the Philippines. There is. The Philippines, I think, makes you happier for the most part. It's easier to kind of get along with people. In America, we always fight. Mindanao. A lot of people forget their subscriptions are not public, so unless you comment, have no idea. That's correct. And Missy, one of the big things I talk about is it's always good to watch a video, give it a minute or two, make a comment, let the video run, then hit the subscribe button and the alert bell. And if you can do that twice, like on 2 different videos, it's even better. So that's what I always tell everybody. But you're right. Unless you leave a comment, I don't know that you subscribed, so I can't find you back at your channel and go and check you out. So I need you to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, then I can come and find you easier. So, sure as Pat says, yeah, I like food cooked in the restaurant fresh from scratch. Well, here's what I'm getting ready to do. I mean, you know, I have a Philippine cooking book because I've turned out to be a pretty good Filipino food cook. I've got a Korean cooking book that I really enjoy. But I'm getting ready to purchase a cook on Asian soups because I'm a big soup fan in America. I love American soups. But I've got to come to the point over the years that I like Asian soups really well. So I'm going to get a new book and teach myself how to make more Asian soups this winter. Oh yeah, people don't watch and click and run it. It hurts the channel and why too? Yes, but dump those subscribers. I tell the story, Missy, and I'm sure you can relate to this. Is I have over 4,000 subscribers now. Like Claude has over 6,000. So but I can speak for myself. I got over 4,000. But if I go back into my history, I've got about 16,000 people over the years that have subscribed to my channel, but only 4,000 have stuck. A lot of nice people in the Philippines, Pat says. That's right. Oh my God, that's one of the best things, Missy. Tomato soup, good tomato soup, and grilled cheese. My wife hates that. But yes, and I make a good both. I love making, I got one of those presses, like a panini press, and I can make really good grilled cheese sandwiches. But you're right, tomato soup. But I've gotten to where I really like coconut-based soups. They really are. And Missy, what I don't understand is this. Why do they care? I don't understand that. Why do they care? Because, I see channels that have 10,000 subscribers and their videos still don't get pushed. So what do they care? Because I don't think the subscriber count means a whole lot. That doesn't mean that the algorithms are going to push your videos out just because you have 10,000 or 20,000, right? So I don't know why they do that. Are they doing it just to be dickheads? Exposed YT yeah, right. That's cool. I have to go back and check that video out, right? But it doesn't make any. That's what my question is. Because if you got 14,000 number, you still are going to only have maybe the 10%. If you're lucky, I tell people this, like I got 4,000 subscribers. If I get 10% of my 4,000 that come back and watch things and be a part of this and talk on live streams, I'm really, really lucky. So, it's not very specific. Okay, well, still worth watching. But what do you think about that? Why do they care your subscriber account? Watch hours, I get. The time people watches your videos, okay, I get that. But what do they care about that count? Are they using it as a tool to keep us motivated? All the reasons, visibility, ad revenue, too many content creators. Yeah, I agree with that. There are way too many content creators, but that's okay. That's why there's so many different platforms. That's why I do this whole thing about making YouTube great again. I think we all need to work together, get back on YouTube, the good ones like us, and like Claude and Pat and everybody else. And we need to do things to bring YouTube back to being the place you want to be. But I do recognize it depends on your purpose, right? I guess I do TikTok, right? But I don't really care about TikTok because I have no interest in hooking up with people. I don't need to dance naked, stuff like that. And TikTok's not as easy either unless you can break out of that cycle that they have you in. So TikTok's not even easy. Wow. So they delay launches. Yeah, I see that. I know that for sure. They delete comments. I agree with that because I've had comments that have gone away. I didn't know why, but it went around. Sub count low, slow and progressive, and visibility for ads, revenue. I don't disagree with that. We got, I can't read it. We'll just call him Suto in the house. I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, and subscribing to the channel. But I get, maybe it's the motivation factor. So if I got 14,000 subscribers, if I had off as a number, it would make me feel better. Maybe I wouldn't work as hard to get more subscribers. Maybe it's their motivation factor. Even chatted with their staff and got an email from them about deleted comments and unsiring people from each other. Very telling. Oh, yeah. I had a drink. No, I don't doubt it. I really don't. I don't. It's crazy. We're going to have to check all of that out. So it's hard on any of these platforms to get real traction. All right, I can break your name to Atai and Suto together. Ataiso? Ataisuto? Ataisuto? I'm going to butcher your name and I apologize. Don't hate me for it. You know, don't take away your thumbs up just because I butcher your poor name and what country you're from, what part of the world you're from. Maybe that will help me. Yeah, I agree. It's just not YouTube. It's everybody doing it. All the platforms. Even Facebook is crappy, you know, all of that. But, I mean, what I have come to find out recently with YouTube, it's almost like creating content doesn't really matter on YouTube anymore. I still do it, but it really doesn't. This works better. Doing live streams all the time works better than you get super chats and you get more people to subscribe and like and buy your membership by doing this, because they never seem to push out videos anymore. Beth says, Yepers, you are right. Yeah, even AI said, really? Wow. So maybe I'm smart. Me and AI are buddies. But you know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know. It's sad. I know it's a business, but I actually think YouTube would make more money if they helped everybody get monetized so they could get ads and get popular. I think they're doing a disservice. I think it's kind of like making like Mr. Beast. So YouTube makes a lot of money off of Mr. Beast. So maybe they got out of all of YouTube land, maybe they got 100 gigantic people that they're making all their money off of. I think it's better to have 10,000 people, smaller, making money, but that's me. Welcome in from India. Well, that's what I was thinking. You know, I mean, I'm not good at pronouncing names. And but it definitely sounds Japanese. So welcome in from India. All the Rigum things, Claude. Claude, what do you think about some of this? Because I know you pay attention to a lot of it. So, but everybody said hello to our good friend from India, whose name sounds like Japanese. I like Indian food. I've never been to India. It's on the bucket list to go to. I know India and Pakistan are different countries, so don't get me on this one. But somebody that I'd love to go to Pakistan too, and I have somebody that I think very highly who comes from Pakistan. So we appreciate India, and I know it's not Pakistan. I'm just saying that region is not a bad region. Meme is back. Welcome in. Pat says hello. Welcome. I'm new here. Meme is new here, so he's somebody, if he gets out of line, just a smack him. Meme, how are you, man? What have you been up to? How you been doing this last week or so? But yeah, but I don't know. But for me, Claude, I have the mentality. Maybe it's the wrong mentality, or does it matter on YouTube? But my mentality is to have 10,000 people giving me $1 versus trying to get $10,000 out of one or two people. I would rather get $1 from everybody than, it's one of those times. Europe is a country also? Why? What happened? How did Europe become a country? What happened to them? Paris is the capital city. Oh, don't start that, man. I thought they closed Paris. Pat is saying hello to you. Atsuto. Pat saying hello to you. They're not pushing my videos this week, but next week they will. It's odd, but sometimes it's like, it is. Mine's the same way. And I don't like it. I don't know what to do about it. I don't like it. But they will push. What I don't like, and I know it's all about money, but I would hope they would hold themselves to a higher standard. Instead of pushing out these guys that do, these jokesters or these women shaking their boobs, I know for them that's money makers, but I don't know. I would wish they would hold themselves to a higher standard. Hey, meme. I think it's a general American joke about Europe. Oh, no. In America, we think London is the capital of Europe, not Paris. We think Paris is where they go to eat croissants and climb the Eiffel Tower. But we more likely think London. London, England is the capital of Europe. But we do have the impression, for the most part, London is very dirty, very crowded, very nasty, like New York. I'm great. What about you, Pat? Getting a response here, Pat? Doing good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pat's just trying to get me to say your name a whole bunch because he knows I'm going to screw it up all the time. Thumbs up. Thank you for that. A reminder of everybody and subscribing to our channel. London is not in the European Union either. Well, we didn't know you guys had a union. I thought you guys worked for free there. So, worked without a union. Oh man. So I don't know, really don't know how to make traction. I guess all you can do is go to these bigger channels and kind of get involved with them if they let you. And then hope that they help promote you. But so many channels, here's what I don't like, and we've all experienced this, is you got a small channel coming up, and you've helped them, and you help them grow, and you're part of them. And when they get to a certain level, they kind of forget you. And they forget everybody. They stop trying to encourage people to go to other people's channel. They just kind of give up on that. And they go, well, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I don't need, so therefore I'm not going to encourage. And I hope I never get to that point because I want to encourage everybody to go help each other out. Street workers. Well, I believe that. Yeah, just a bunch of white street workers versus like Thailand. How much? Love you long time. $5. Love you long time. I got a new bird feeder, guys. I'm going to show you. I know you guys don't care about my bird feeders, but I got a brand new hummingbird feeder I'm going to make a video on. Look at that. Isn't that cool, man? Greta Goyle is the brand. If you guys need a bird feeder, man, a hummingbird feeder, let me know. I'll hook you up on which one to buy. I got to figure out where I am. Oh, there I am. I lost myself there for a minute. Talk to, oh, did you? How's she doing? Yep. I can understand being burned out. I get burned out on mine. I know Claude gets tired sometimes too. I know that for sure. I'm sure Missy does too. It's a lot of work to get a little. You put a lot of effort into a little, and it is tiring. Good meme. Oh God, meme. Doesn't look like a damn bong. You mean guy. Yeah, I get burned out too. What I get burned out on is trying to make a good video, what I think is a good video, and it just sits there like a big turd, and I hate that because you put a lot of work into it. And then, of course, like my channel, I got over 1,000 videos. What I'm thinking about doing is just recycling the damn videos. So, I don't know. That's my name. I'm the mean guy. That's my name. I know, man. Pat, she's doing good. She just got back from California visiting her son. Nice. Well, good. She's doing well. I know I talked to the Double Rose twins a while back, and they got burned out on some things too. And it's a lot of work. And I tell everybody who wants to do YouTube, you're not going to make any money. So you got to do it because you got the time, the energy, and you want to do it. That's right, buddy. I know nothing at all. Schultz. I had a dog named Schultz once. It was some weird German Shepherd mix when I was a little kid. So we keep debating about getting another dog. I'd really like to have another female long hair wiener dog because mine died. And we like female dogs, and I want a long hair. I've been doing this for 6 years and I have 2,500 videos. Nice. And I'm getting to 6,000 subscribers. Yeah, Claude, I've been doing this for 4 years and I have 4,000 subscribers. So, and I got, I think 1,100 videos. So maybe we're on track. Schultz, the wiener dog, you got it. Well, at Suto, it truly is on the bucket list. It's not in the top 2 or 3, 5 in the bucket list, but it really is in the bucket list. I would really love to go to India. One, I think the smells from the food would be really cool. And I do think you guys got some parts of the country that are beautiful. So I actually really would like to go to India. If we won the lottery and, like the big $1 billion lottery that just happened, India would definitely be somewhere we visited and spent some time. But I have made more money on one video. Yeah, I got some videos out there, Claude, that keeps getting watched, evergreen videos, as I call them. Where they stay green, they keep generating. I got about a handful of videos that do that, and they keep bringing me income in. Yeah, I know, Claude, but I try not to get, or I don't get upset anymore because I see guys go to the Philippines first time, viral, and yeah, I know. And you're thinking, well, what in the hell? I did the exact, what I think sometimes, Claude, is I look at these videos that like you do, like so many other people like us, Claude. I look at you and go, well, I covered the exact same topic. I did that too. How come I got 200 views and that guy got 48,000 views? What's the difference? The same day, you know what I mean? So it is frustrating because we all kind of do the same stuff. I think the only big difference between us and some of them, Claude, is we're not going to stick our wives on there or our girlfriends and skimpy outfits just to get likes, you know what I mean? And views. We're not the type that are going to do that. Oh, had drones, videos, all kinds of poop. It is a hobby. Last year I filed my taxes and I claimed my YouTube money, right? I did it the year. I use TurboTax, right? And I've been using them for years. They sent me an alert this year. They sent me an alert last year saying, you're losing too much money on YouTube, on your YouTube business. And the IRS will now consider it a hobby, so you can no longer deduct it. Because I lose so much money doing YouTube. Never visited Germany, never have. And I got to be honest, I've never, even though I'm German, I have, a lot of German blood in me. To be honest, Germany has never been high on the visit list. It just hasn't. If I was in Europe and we were going to be there, yes, would love to go to Germany. But I wouldn't make a concerted effort to go to Germany. Just to be honest, for some reason, even Switzerland, Norway, places, just not. London definitely wouldn't want to go. France, I don't want to go to France either. Italy would be okay. And Iceland, Greenland. But, for some reason, those countries right in there, Scotland, just doesn't interest me. Hey, there's an ideal, honey. Take it off. Won't go. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, she'll take it off. Yeah, off your head, pluck your last hair out. So, oh, my wife and I got to tell you guys about that. You guys ready to hear about the date? And Claude, I'm going to do a video on this. Not about the date, but what I'm going to talk about. My wife the other day, we were in bed. She was watching some stupid Lifetime girl chick movie or some crap. I don't know. I think I was watching something about serial killers. But anyway, and she turned over to me and said, you never ever asked me out on a date. And I'm like, we've been married for 11 years and our anniversary's in a couple weeks. Yeah, but you've never asked me out on a date. So I'm like, shit. So I arranged it. She came home one night or something, and I asked her out on a date. And what was bummer, she took like 10 minutes to decide whether she's going out with me or not. Like, all right, if you don't want to go out with me, then that means, we're good, right? So I took her out on our first date this weekend. And I joke and laugh because I'm like, okay, so the mere fact that I flew 7,000 miles back 12 years ago, whenever it was, spent a month with you, went to all these resorts and travel in the Philippines and dinner, repeatedly was not a date. I considered it a month-long date. Apparently that wasn't a first date. Left Germany to go to India. Yeah, but the other big thing for me, to be honest, about traveling, I don't have any desire really, except for Iceland. I don't really want to go anywhere where it's cold, where it gets cold. I don't want to go to countries where it's cold. I just don't. I think of Germany as a cold country, and London, because I see all the rain and the coats people are wearing. I don't want to do that. When I see India, I see big deserts. So it has to be warm there, hopefully. Dubai would be really cool to go. You know what I mean? So I look at, I don't want to go to Canada. Hell, I don't want to go an hour ahead of me in Missouri. So, but I had to take my wife out on the first date, everybody. I did. I wind up, one thing I asked the other group a while back was the other night, was how much money should we spend on a first date? And, got a bunch of different answers. I think we wind up spending probably $75. I took her to the movie. Good evening, Peck. Hello, Tim said that's why he said hello to Tim. Everybody say hi to Tim. Tim, thank you for the thumbs up. So we went to the movie, paid for that. I think that was like $16 each. We got one bucket of popcorn because, I was debating. Here was the debate on a first date. Because my wife said this is our first date. So I'm thinking, hey, first date, I'm not sharing my popcorn and you're not slobbering all over my drink. You got to get your own drink and your own popcorn because I don't want your filthy, dirty lips and hands. Because if I ain't kissing you, you ain't eating my food, right? And usually when you go out on a girl on a first date, you haven't kissed them yet, right? So I'm thinking, well, we got to get 2 popcorns and 2 Cokes and you need to sit over there, Hello, Pat. Mima said hello, Tim. Hello, everybody. So, but I broke down and bought 1 bucket of popcorn and 1 drink, and I shared it with her. And that was $14. So, what was that? 16, 14. Oh, then we had to go to Walmart. And I'm going to consider our shopping at Walmart part of the date. Because she bought some things we didn't need that was on clearance, but she wanted them. I'm going to say that's part of the day. So let's throw in another $30 on top of that. And then I think we came home. I think that's all we spent on the first date. Man, crazy. Now the real question is there going to be a second date? And then, of course, I told her, my wife, I said, if this is our first date, then how in the world can we go on an anniversary date, a wedding anniversary date in a few weeks? Because if this is our first date, then we're not married. And because, I'm not allowed to date anybody because I'm married, but you're making me go on a date. So there's a conflict there. But we did go see a movie. My wife, God love her, but man, just shut up and watch the movie. I haven't seen the movie either. I've never seen it. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where the movie's going. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Don't forget the chaperone. You got that right. We needed a chaperone. I remember back in the '90s, it cost $2. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, it was $16, and that was the cheap seats because we went early in the afternoon. Later in the day, I think it was $18. So, is what we did. But we went and saw the movie called The Conjuring: The Last Rites because I'm a big scary movie fan, and so we went, and I love the Conjuring series. But did that. Yeah, year 2000 it went up, you think, Pat? I know it's. Here's what I don't understand. Is it really that I mean, are they just being greedy? Charging $16 versus like $8 because they can? Memes in the house. David, do you ever enjoy warm, mulled wine in deep snow with lights and no? If it has the word snow in it, David doesn't enjoy it in any way, shape, or form. I don't care. When I was a younger man, I played in the snow. I did the snow thing. I've rented cabins on mountains and sat in hot tubs and overlooked the snow-lined forest. Anything with snow can kiss my happy ass. I think they're very great. I agree because, no, never done that. Never done that type of snow. No snow in the nose. Well, except for when I was like 8 or 9 years old. I did some of that. But no. But, well, because, from what I understand about the movie theaters, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think it's all digital now. It's kind of like just watching TV, it's projected. So there's no film anymore, right? It's a digital thing that they're broadcasting to us. Yeah, what kind of snow you ever want? I don't want any snow, but I played in snow. But man, I'm old now. No snow for me, man. No snow for you either. Snow's bad for you. Makes your toes cold. I managed a one-screen movie theater in the late 70s. Adult tickets were $2, children's were $1. Wow. See, that's cool. I know back in 1980 something, 84, I was a junior, 85, 83, I don't know. When I was like in 10th grade back in the early 80s, the first date I ever went on, we went and watched a movie called Spies Are Us. And I think it cost $1.50 back then. Your snow comes in from November to February. Same here. Our snow season, you might, November through February. Actually, sorry. In America, my part of America, you could go as late as early April and have snowstorms. They don't stay around. But in my part of the country, if it snows 4 inches, it's going to be gone in a couple of days. But you can get snow up until the 1st of April here, April the 15th, tax day. Yeah, it's kind of strange, right? But that's the big window for us. But we usually don't get snow until December, but you can get it as early as late October. Theaters make very little on ticket sales. It's all the concessions, right? Yep, we had a theater in one of our houses. I've seen people have theaters in their homes. AMC, you can order movies on 4 screens, $2. Yeah. Well, you don't, look, to be honest, with the way these TVs are, these our TVs, you know, the way these modern flat screen LED liquid crystal TVs are, all you got to do is kill the lights, darken the room a little bit, and it's like going to, we got an 80-inch TV in here. You know, we don't really need to go to the theater, but we like to go once in a while because it gets you out of the house and gives you something to do. It's not strange. Look at the maps. Yeah, well, here it is. Now look, we're supposed to be getting our butt kicked this winter. We are the same line, just 5K miles away. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. 3% on ticket sales. But I wonder if that's different now because the movie's digital. There's no more film. So I wonder if that has changed, because now it's just digital. Oh my God. No, man. Then how can we be on the same line if the earth is flat? But we like to go to the movies just to get out of the house and have something to do. But our TV is just as good, if not better, than the theater, without question. And we don't have to sit next to strangers. We just have to sit next to each other. Same here, Pat says. Yeah, it's so... And we got one of those really good JVC, is it JVC? Sound systems in the house. And we literally can just shut these blinds and turn the lights off and really enjoy TV. We really can. We do. But it's nice to get out of the house and go somewhere and do something. And it's nice to see movies. I mean, I do think this. When we watched the last Top Gun movie that came out, which is better than the first Top Gun movie, it was better to see it at the movie theater because it was bigger. It wasn't the same vibe as on the TV as the movie theater. How? We'll be on the same line if the earth's flat. Think about it. It's a lot easier than... we don't want easy though, man. Pat says, I like some of the foods. Yeah, I like the popcorn, but I got to admit the popcorn came out of the popper too salty this weekend. Or maybe it's the fact that we don't eat the bad popcorn anymore. We only eat that skinny popcorn that James Robinson turned me on to that doesn't have a bunch of shit in it. Chemicals, it's all just organic. It's really good popcorn. So when we went to the movie theater, man, that popcorn was so seasoned coming out of the machine. And you can sprinkle your own seasoning on it, right? It was way over seasoned. But we're now used to the skinny popcorn, which I highly recommend, by the way. Meme is trying to bust my bubble here. If you come over with an airplane, well, yeah, or a rocket. That's a... Right on, Pat says, Jimmy's in the house. I thought the only reason to go to cinemas is grope your date. Well, I tried that. I did that. I groped a little. I got a little touchy-feely, you know what I mean? What do they call it? God, what is that? I even made it to first base. I don't remember the bases anymore. I'm old, man. But yeah, we got a little touchy-feely on the first date. She was an easy first date, boys and girls. What does that say? Hey, this is a serious question. No, it ain't. If the girl you go out with is a easy first date, does she have a better chance of getting a second date versus a girl who's not as easy on the first date getting a second date? Plain, flat, maybe. Well, if the earth is flat, then can't I just take a boat? Right? I can just take a boat or a car and a boat and I don't even got to fly, man. Being digital is much easier than getting actual film. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I remember. I don't know where I was, Tim, but at somewhere I was at a film festival years ago. And I helped somebody carry some of those and move some of those. Man, they were heavy. Plane may be the same. It may be. I don't know, man. Maybe if the earth is flat, why can't I just walk over there in a couple of hours? I don't know. What about Bigfoot? If the earth is flat, then Bigfoot can't live here. The planet may be the same. I don't know, man. You're thinking on levels way above my brain. You're thinking way up here. I'm still thinking about getting to first base. Ooh. I like that, Jimmy. You're right. She went home with me and she slept with me. So, yeah, that's a good outcome, right? I didn't think about that, but so I guess she's definitely going to get a second date then, right? We got a big, I got to figure out where we're going to eat for our wedding anniversary. But, yeah, so I guess she'll get a second date. She wants to go see this Japanese movie, cartoon movie that's out in the theaters or coming out this weekend. Something about like Dragon Slayer, like an animated Japanese thingy. So I might have to take that to her. Tim said usually 2 cans for, yeah, I remember that. That's why I was positioning them. You run around the world a couple of times. Yeah, see? It'll be easier, man. How's it going, Jimmy's doing pretty good. I had a doctor's appointment today. He hadn't seen, I think what he did, let me tell you this. My heart doctor, the real doctor, I see a physician's assistant usually. Well, they canceled him and made me see the real doctor. So I think the real doctor, because he fills out paperwork for me every year, I think the real doctor was trying to figure out if I was still the person that was under his care, because I hadn't seen him like in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I haven't seen him in a long time, because I always see his person. But they're getting ready to swap out my defibrillator, give me a new pacemaker. So I saw him today for about 10 minutes. He's like, yeah, you still alive? And I'm like, yeah, you still getting dizzy? Yeah. All right, well, good to see you. Burger King's flame broiled is better than, I agree with that. Flame broiled, I agree 1,000%. As much as the Burger King food is disgusting and horrible for you, their Whopper is one damn good sandwich. I'm just a saying. My wife, the sea siren, she's at home. At work, slaving away, trying to earn money. Hopefully, she'll buy me something. But she's got, we're trying to fundraise because Lorelai has a big ticket item she wants to buy. We're not trying to fundraise. Sorry, that's wrong word. We're trying to save money. I'm not trying to fundraise for it. We're trying to save money so that Lorelai can buy this very expensive thing for her birthday. My doctor is a hoot. He actually gets me to drink less. I don't drink much, so it's pretty easy to get me not to drink much. But I got a bunch of doctors, to be honest. I got a lot of stuff going on this year. I do a lot of, since I went to the emergency room a couple weeks ago, they got a lot of shit planned. So, and then I got to have the pacemaker swapped out. So, and I got a little video I'm going to do about changing out your pacemaker. I've been saving some video, and once we get it done, I'll do a little video about that, Meme says, man, you know what? My doctor says I got to drink more, especially in the summertime. Summertime blues. I drank one of those beers the other day that was disgusting. What did I have? Somebody left one here at my house. It was Stella. Is that about right? Is there a beer called Stella? Nasty. I like Burger King once in a while. Got to watch certain foods. Oh, I know, man. We got to all watch that. Stella, no, I don't know what it was. It's like a blue label. I think it was ST something. Jimmy, he said, Jimmy, if you get there in 3 or 4 drinks, why do you drink 7 or 8? Isn't that a waste of, ooh, hell, he's applying logic. Damn, that is a good doctor. Spanish beer. No, I think this was. I think it's Italian beer. Beer. I don't think it's Spanish. It looks more. They have a lot of commercials, and they even have glasses. I think it's Stella, something like that. I don't. I think it's more of a European, not Spanish. That's it, Jimmy. I think that's it. That's it exactly. But I found it disgusting. It was like piss water. Not good piss water either. Well, if you send me some, I would be happy to try it. But sometimes it's hard to find those in America. European, not Spanish. Told you. See, that's what I said. Man, come on. You know, why are you always peeing everywhere? Man, why are you peeing? You know, and doing the Spanish. But yeah, it was not good beer. Not good beer. I should have had my Guinness, but I tried it because somebody left them here, and I'm just like, I don't know who's drinking this piss water, but they're not good. I think somebody stole my bottle openers. I bought a whole 6-pack of these. These are high duty. Man, these belong in bars. I paid big money for 6 of these because I always can't find one. But now I got 5 of them missing. I only find this one. And that's because I hide it outside. Somebody's taken my damn bottle openers. See, here's what they are. You guys can't see that, but that's all right. You don't need to see that. Oh, I love Red Horse. Red Horse is my buddy. I'm a big fan of Red Horse beer. Red Horse beer is a good beer. I like it, but it's a stronger beer and it's a thicker, heavier beer. So I like Red Horse. You can buy it in America now. You just got to find it like at Seafood City. But my drinking goes way down during the winter. I like to drink beer when it's hot outside, right? I don't like to drink beer when it's cold outside. I'm one of these weird people that when it starts to get cold, I don't want to drink cold crap. I will switch from iced tea to green tea, hot green tea. I don't want to drink a cold beer when it's 40 degrees outside. Please help. No way, man. We ain't helping you pee anywhere. You got to learn how to pee on yourself. Pee by yourself. Man, I'm having all kinds of tests done this year. My God. My doctor says, you're at that age where we got to check everything out. I'm like, well, no, you really don't. And he's like, yeah, we really do. And I'm like, no, we really don't. And he's like, no, we really do. I'm like, fuck. And then he looks at my wife and says, we need to do these tests. And she goes, okay, we can do them. We'll make sure he gets done. And I'm like, shit, we don't need to do these. Just lie to the doctor. So you switch from beer to mulled wine in the winter. I'll have to look that up, but I don't really like wine. I don't drink wine. Cold weather, sake's good. Sake's good. The Korean, I can't remember does anybody know what the Korean stuff like sake is? You can buy it everywhere. Comes in the green bottles. Man, that stuff's really good. Man, I can't. And it comes in different flavors. Sojo, thank you. Sojo, I like Sojo. We have Sojo here. We get, that's it exactly. Okay, so mulled wine is not really wine. Because I don't like vinegar, and look, and I've been places, fancy dinners where people have had really expensive wine, and I'm like, this shit still stinks like vinegar. The best wine there is out there, real wine, the best wine out there is a wine called Stella Rose. It's like $11 a bottle. It tastes like Kool-Aid. No, Tim, it's not going to affect that at all, but they don't know what's wrong with me. So they're going to do scope, here, there. They're testing everything because they don't know what's wrong with me. But they've done so many EKGs on my heart that it seems normal. We're getting ready to do an echocardiogram. before the pacemaker. So we're doing that in a few weeks. So it should not affect anything. It should just get us prepared for it, I hope. So the emergency room really, because leaving the emergency room, they said, well, we don't know what's wrong with you. So, your heart's fine, your lungs are fine, your gut's fine, everything's fine. I mean, you got a little wacky here and there, but your blood, but I'm always screwed. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I do, meme. I think I know what you're talking about now. That's right. I think I know what you're talking about. But so, Tim, hopefully, I don't think it will. They're going to do, like I said, an echocardiogram, which is where they do a sonogram of the heart. Yeah, yeah. Well, and look, luckily the good thing in America is since they want money so bad, through the insurance companies, when you go to an emergency room like me, and I was having chest pains, I was having horrible chest pains. And so I go in and say, look, I'm having chest pains, and I get moved to the front of the line because they're all worried I'm going to die of a heart attack and my wife will sue them. So, but yeah, we come out of it 6 hours later and they go, well, this is a little elevated. That's a little under, low. But, we can't find anything wrong with you. But you're better now, right? You're not in pain now, right? All the pain's gone away. Yeah, but you gave me morphine. Of course the goddamn pain went away. Dope me up on morphine and send me home. Take the pain away. But that's okay. So they found nothing. They're just going to send me a big giant bill soon. And then they got to check my trachea and my bronchioles again. Partly what happens, I think, with me is, you guys may not realize this, but I actually have a lung disease called sarcoidosis. And you guys know I don't mind sharing medical stuff. I don't care. So I have a disease called sarcoidosis. And what it's done over the years is provided me with hard masses in my lungs. And sometimes I call them kind of like cracking. It's kind of like a rock or a dog turd when it's dried out, right? It's there and it's a mass, but it has a little flexibility to it. And I think maybe that's part of it. Mr. David, nothing wrong with you, but you have the blood of a jackal. Do you know who Damon Thorne is? Yes. Isn't he Damien from the movies? Remember, is that, Damien, 666, Damien? He threw his caregiver out the window. Because I'm thinking of the original movies, Omen. Yeah. Love that movie. Love those movies. Those were good movies, right? Not a lot of blood and guts, but they left you going, holy crap, and butt farts. I like it. So that's right, man. Yeah. And of course, my blood is getting polluted now. And thinking of the Omen and that, my vampire disease is coming back. So and what that means is I am allergic to the sun. So it's coming back. So we'll see how that goes over the next few years. Yes, I remember that. That's right. Remember that dog? That dog on that movie? Man, that dog. Remember that big black dog? Ugh. Oh, it was a good movie. Oh, let me tell you. So we watched The Conjuring last rites. And you guys know The Conjuring, right? The Ed and Warren, the Warrens, I can't remember her name. So we watched their last movie this weekend on the date. And you don't remember man, Tim, you're old like us. I would have thought it had Gregory Peck in it. The original Omen, I think, had Gregory Peck in it. Yeah. But we watch Missy's channel's back in the house saying, hello, everybody. I'm laughing at you because you're funny. So we watched The Conjuring, The Last Rites this weekend. It was good, and I would recommend it if you're into that genre. Highly recommend it. The only negative I found was it took a little long to get to the point. It took a little longer to kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the movie. But it was a long movie, but it was a really good movie. Not a lot of blood and guts, but some good parts. It was a good movie. I liked it. Meme says the old girl. Jimmy says yes. Is this the old guy channel? Yeah, that's why you're here, man. Missy says, like old us, I feel, yeah, yes. Missy. But it was good. Except for my wife was keep interrupting the movie going, well, what are they going to do? What happened? I'm like, I hate this. I told her. I said, look, I don't know. I've never seen the movie. I can't tell you what's going on because I haven't seen the movie. So just relax, And of course here at home, what my wife does, God bless her, is she plays on the phone while we watch TV, looking at stuff. And then she'll ask me, well, what happened? And I'm like, so now I got to stop the movie and explain the last 20 minutes. Meme says, that's the reason your YouTube brings me back here every time. It's because there's a place for the old guys. Well, young guys, we get a lot of young people on this channel, let me just say. We got a lot of high schoolers and college kids. They come in on a regular basis to ask questions and to hang out with us old people. 5 years ago, the buffet gave me senior citizen discount and I got mad. Wow. My wife is thinking of senior citizen. My wife wants to book a venue for her birthday party next spring, which all of you guys are welcome to come to. It's going to be a big birthday party, apparently. And so there's a senior center over here in my town that I got to call this week and talk to them about it. But Lorelei was reading about it and going, well, we might be able to rent that because you're a senior now. And I'm just like, retirement channel, there you go, man. She turns 40 in the spring. It's her 40th. That's why she's doing a great big birthday party to celebrate 40 years. And so she has a budget, which is going to be blown out of the water. Maybe I need a sponsor for Lorelei's birthday party. But she's going to throw a big birthday party, rent a venue, decorate, but 40 years of age. Missy says, I feel old when people call themselves old people and they're younger. I know. I feel old when I go to the doctor and the doctor's younger than me. It's like, wait, what the hell happened? But I'll tell you a little quick story. You're 22, about a buffet, Tim. I was at a buffet my brothers and I were in Florida. And we stopped. I was driving. I was tired. We stopped at a Chinese buffet. So they go and eat. I go to the bathroom, get cleaned up a little bit. I come to eat. They already got a bunch of empty plates there. The little Chinese lady comes over and says, eat no more food. Too many plates. And I'm like, me? I just got here. So she wouldn't let me eat any food. Yeah. I didn't ask for a senior discount. I don't know if I'm a senior at the movies yet. What age do you got to be a senior? And I don't think it's consistent, right? Should we start taking advantage of that? I mean, is it wrong? Okay, let me say this. If you claim a senior discount, does that mean that you truly are a senior? Or can you backtrack and say, well, I just took it because it was a benefit? It was all you can eat. It was all you can eat buffet. I got one plate of it, but my brother stacked it. I got, like, you don't eat no more, you fat motherfucker. I just got here. I was stretching outside, walked around, and went to the bathroom and, because I just got done driving like 8 hours straight. But whatever. Nah, that was back in like 1989. Well, yeah. June's in the house. Hi again. How are you, June? Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Everybody say hello to our friend June. I'm going to order, what did I say? Oh. So I am looking at a new cookbook on Asian soups to buy. So I'm studying that right now if anybody has a recommendation. And then I'm getting ready to buy a new toaster oven. So I've been studying that for the last week. And I need a new toaster oven because we use the one that we have a lot. And I need one that has more functions and ability. I wanted to have a rotisserie and a convection oven. Missy says, when you're old enough to get retired Social Security, then you're a true senior. Okay, but what if you're on disability? But if you're in your 50s and get senior coffee at McDonald's, oh, that's crazy. That's not nice. Hello, June from Meme. Love a nice soap. Yeah, so I'm looking at one right now. I've been studying them. I've looked at those Borellis or whatever. They get a bad review because the knobs melt and they get too hot and the chrome comes off. So I'm looking at a model that doesn't have any. I've been looking at the Ninjas, the Cuisinarts. I think I've decided to buy one at Sam's Club, actually, the one they have. Because it has everything and it's $100 less than the Ninja. So we use ours a lot, and I mean a lot. And I want to make pork lechon, and I can make it in the oven. But if I had a rotisserie with the convection oven, I can make a little pork lechon for Lorelei quicker and easier than anything you could ever imagine. You had a lot of mixed feelings. You got your first call. Yeah, senior. I bet. I just use my sword a lot. Oh, God. You know, what I find interesting, you do come to terms with this, right? You know, you guys all know I have a mobility scooter that I use, and I can't afford to buy a new one, but I really need a new one for traveling, right? But when you travel, you know, if you're like in Korea, I was shocked at the airport. Every old person, they wouldn't pick them out of the audience and brought them into a wheelchair. They didn't raise their hand. They went and got them all, you know, and gave them wheelchairs and put special conditions on the old people. If America would treat old people like the Philippines does, or Korea does, or Japan does, it'd be really nice to be a senior. But here in America, you don't really get treated that nice as a senior. But if they would do it like in Asia, I don't know, Meme, how's it in your part of the world? Are you guys nice as seniors in your part of the world, or do you just kick them around? Well, yeah, that's kind of the thing, Jim. I look at, do we take every, discount that we can? When I was a state employee, when I taught college, we had a card showing we were state employees. And there was a lot of places that gave us discounts. And I used to whip that sucker out like at the buffets and... Oh yeah, use Walker and those airport people chased me down trying to stick me in a wheelchair. What's up with that? See? It's because they think you're old. But now, to make, and I've told you guys this, to make my life easier for my wife, we put down that I'm handicapped, and they put me in like on a special bus. It's kind of like the short bus. Old people go to the short bus. In Germany, seniors come first. We have a special seats for older or pregnant people in the buses and trains. I wish James Robinson was in the house. He takes public transit in California a lot. And I've seen videos, Meme, and I think it's awesome that they have color-coded seats in certain countries that, look, if you're pregnant, you can have these seats. These are safe for you. If you're handicapped or you're senior, different color seats that you're supposed to give up if people come on, right? I don't know. I don't think we do that in America. I think we have a handicap spot for a wheelchair, and other than that, it's kind of like kiss your ass. But even my 40s, I know, well, Missy, why do you think they did that to you? Were you looking a little old that day? Yeah, we do too. And partly because I need it, to be honest. I know I need it. I don't like it. My problem has been I've been very resistant to this disabilities I have. I've not been a very good, okay, I accept the fact that I'm screwed up. I've not been very good at it. It's been very hard for me to come to terms with it. And it's taken me years to use the damn scooter at Walmart. So my ego is so gigantic. Wow, no! It means as if you sit on a special place for handicaps, you're gonna get kicked out. Yeah, right. I mean, we have handicap spaces on buses, I think here, but I don't think they have designated pregnant people and old people and stuff like that. But I think there should be. I think maybe it's the staff who help disabled, just not the clients. Yes. It's just, I just gotta admit, it was really hard for me. It's really hard for me to, Lorelai, because I know it makes my wife's job easier taking care of me. For me to admit that I'm disabled, that I need the scooter, I know it makes her life easier. But I always look around and go, well, that person needs it worse than I do, like at Walmart. I go to Walmart and I see people trying to get these scooters, and I'm always thinking, well, that person needs it more than me, so I can just suffer. You feel me? You get it, right? And so, admitting defeat is what it is. It's admitting that I am no longer the studly man I used to think I was, right? So you got to come to terms with I'm just not the studly man I thought I was years ago. I'm just some pathetic old fat guy now. And that's how people see me, right? Special parking spaces in front of every supermarket. Farmers and some, you park without permission. Yeah, we have designated handicap space. By law, it's 2.5% of the spaces in any parking lot has to be designated handicap. By law, it's 2.5%. I used to do a bunch of ADA things when I was teaching, so I actually know a lot about the ADA rules in America, and I know it's 2.5%, something that's stuck with me. I just sit in my walker in the store, lines if I start hurting too much. Yeah, what's weird is Walmart. Walmart, I don't know why they've done this. I know they're bigger carts, but Walmart has taller carts now. I don't know if you've seen it. If you look around, our Walmarts here have taller shopping carts. So your hands are not here, you're up here a little bit more. And you can rest on them more like a stand-up walker. And they're actually really nice because it keeps your body upright and you can lean on them and use them kind of like as a walker in Walmart, these new ones. And they have a place for your phone and your drink too. In Korea, I got off the plane, went through their customs, immigration, smoking room, and was in the business class lounge. Yeah. That's one thing you can say when you travel, man. Click that button because it'll get you through customs and the airport, and Lorelai gets to go. That's one thing I appreciate. I appreciate, and I really mean this, I appreciate when they allow my wife not to have to go through the line. They can just stay with me. And I've realized when traveling, the whole family can do that. So if you got grandpa with you and he's in the handicap situation, the whole family gets to cut the line. No one disturbed my peace after 10 p.m. around my house by law if I called the police. Oh man, you're not a police caller. I don't believe you. What do you call? I guess you call them the police, right? So in Germany, do you call the police the police? Like something else, like Policiano or something like that. But I do think it's really nice that they allow the whole family to cut the line. I think that's kind of a nice thing. I know you're not. I can tell you're not, man. If somebody is partying too late at night and you're around your community, well, you're just going to go hang out, knock on the door and say, hey, you got any Doritos? Yeah. Meme also says, stay off my lawn as an old cranky guy. I go out and made it myself. Yes. I try not to be one of those I'm trying really hard in my life, in general, not to be one of those old cranky white guys. I really am. I don't think I am. I think I'm more of, hey, who cares? It really doesn't matter type of old fat white guy. But I'm trying really hard not to be one of those, hey, don't you bounce that ball over here, type of old fart. I'm trying not to be one of those. I hope I don't grow into one of those. I want to be the old guy that nobody even sees or acknowledges. Turn it down or let me in. That's right. Turn it down and let me in. What the hell? So I'm one of those. I'm a little hot headed. You can push my button and get the smackdown laid on you. But I am a little bit. I'm not like that lady. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's a baseball game this weekend. A home run got hit. The ball. People chased for down the ball. A guy caught the ball, got the ball, took and gave it over to his son. A home run ball. I don't remember by who. Like the the Phillies, right? And the Marlins. He gave it to his son because it's his son's birthday weekend and big treat. And this crazy Karen goes over and bitches him out and yells at him, saying, "No, that was my ball, you mother effer." And so he gives up and gives her the ball back, and now she's all over the internet as a Karen. They call her the Philly Karen. So all over the internet. I think they're still trying to find her now. So I'm trying not to be one of them. I may go relax and play some games. Nice chatting with y'all. See you soon, Missy's channel. We appreciate you. The thing here is you can make whatever you want, but you don't disturb others making trouble then. Okay. So nobody really cares what you're doing as long as you're not disturbing others, is kind of what you're saying. We're kind of the same way in America, to be honest. In the Philippines, it's kind of the same way too, but you can disturb everybody. In the Philippines, what I thought was funny, and Tim can relate to this, and he knows this, and Pat, is in the Philippines, you could have like 10 different houses in a one block, all doing karaoke and screaming out the top of their heads, and that's normal. Does anyone remember the Hammer film, Scary? The Hammer? No, I don't remember those, Pat. I'll have to Google those. I don't remember the Hammer. Was it involving a hammer? A hammer? I don't remember the Hammer, to be honest. No. But for the most part, people don't really care what you do here as long as you're minding your own business and as long as they're minding their own business. It's like we have a lot of parties at this house, right? And so we take up a lot of but we have a lot of vacant curb all around us. We bought a corner house. And so we have a dead end over there that's empty. So we have a lot of space for our guests to park. And my big thing is for my guests, don't park in somebody's driveway. Don't block somebody's driveway. Because in America, that's number one. You're pissing me off thing in America is blocking somebody's driveway or even parking in front of somebody's house, except for that's perfectly legal. Google it. I'll Google it right now, Pat. Let me pull up Google. The Hammer movie. From 2019, Pat. Are you saying, I found a movie called The Hammer from 2019. It's about a drug dealing. Or are you saying, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman on Hammer Films? A lot of their movies have. Wow. The noisy older people living across from you got kicked out, and so now the street is quiet. Yes. But Tim knows what I mean, man. You can have, 7 or 8 different karaoke's going around, right? And it's just, and then the chickens, I'll have to deep search them because I'm coming up with one from 2019. Oh, I found them, Pat. I found them. Hammer Films. Yeah, a whole bunch of scary. Yeah, I see them, Pat. You're right. I found them, Pat. Yeah, they're older ones. Maximum Volume. Yeah, they're all competing with each other. We know each other here very well. If someone in the neighborhood makes a potty in the backyard and it's a little loud as usual, no problem. We know exactly. Yeah, what we do, to be honest, is trying to be just decent people. We think it's okay for people to party. I do. I really believe it's okay. Why get bent out unless it's like every day? But we have neighbors that throw big parties, but it's 2 or 3 times a year. I don't care. I will make if they're even at midnight and they're still going, hey, look, it's only once a year. It's only somebody's birthday or a special event. If you to be a decent human, sometimes it's good just to let people do their thing and not be a Karen because it will wind down. And most people around here, have common sense that you wind your parties down about 10 p.m. But, I try to go, well, look, these people got a big bounce house and they got a big crapping thing, karaoke going out over there. I don't want them to not have a good time. I think that's shitty. To take the ability from people that are having a good time. You know what? I just don't like that. I don't want it done to me, and I don't want to go and yell at these people because they're hanging out in their yard having a good time, and just not right. It's like the same here. Everyone likes to party or birthday or whatever. Just let it be there. Yeah, just, if all you got, if you're a Karen, what we call a Karen or a Darren, and that's your best move is to go bitch and complain because somebody's having a party once in a while and they're blocking the roads and there's a lot of, Yeah, now in the Philippines, there's always a birthday party. There's always, you know, yeah, before the typhoon hit and times we've been there, other times, man, it's like there's always a birthday party somewhere. Carmen Gentile. Oh my God. But I don't know. I just don't want to do that. I want to let people enjoy their life. We live in it, and I would never, I'm praying to God that when we move away from here, if I can convince Lorelai it's the right thing to do, that we can buy a house not in an HOA. Living in an HOA is the worst thing that nobody should ever do. They should be banned. But we live in one. It's a small one. It's a cheap one. It's not a big deal. But HOAs are the worst. And, you know, it just, when we first moved here, we got a Facebook group set up for the neighborhood, right? And I even had the cops called on me the first 2 weeks here because we're in a new section and there's a little bit of an older section. And we had our dogs, and we're actually our house was occupied, and there's a bunch of empty ones, and 1 or 2 were full. And I got a cop come to my house one day, say that somebody was complaining about my dog. And I'm like, oh yeah, who's complaining about my dog? And because I don't like cops coming to my house. And I'm like, okay, so tell me who. I walked him, said, tell me, which one? I'll go talk to him about it. And I said, you see my wiener dogs, right? They don't bark unless you bother them, and you're bothering them, by the way. So now they're barking. You get that, right? So who called in the complaint? Give me the call number. Well, sir, I know he's something about the neighbors in the old section are concerned about all the noise in the new section. And I looked at him and said, so are you telling me that the people that have lived over there for a year or more than my house is being built has more rights than I do? Is that what you're telling me? He's like, oh, no, sir, that's not what I meant. You know, and I'm like, well, I think you need to figure out what the hell you meant or go away. Because I don't play games. It's my house. Kiss off. Pat says, when I'm in the Philippines, I stay away from the beer bottles. So Filipinos who would do that, Americans. I know Pat's had some bad experiences in the Philippines, but I've never had that, even during the typhoon. HOA should be outlawed. They're talking about it in Florida. It's getting a lot of push in Florida now. It's starting to pick up, but only in Florida. Because there's so many people that are losing their homes or being fined. One lady went to jail because her grass was brown. This is a true story, Tim. A black lady in Florida, went to jail for a week because her grass was brown. And so what happened was her HOA apparently fined her and took her to court over it. Apparently she didn't meet one of the court dates that she didn't know about. So they came and arrested her and threw her in jail for not coming to court. But the court was all about whether or not the HOA has the right to fine her $200 for the spot of brown grass in her yard. I hate it. I had a neighbor once, she told me at 3 p.m. midday to lower my music. The music was just whisper in the background. Didn't lower it, the music. 10 minutes later, the police arrived. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I would have told them, hey, you want to come in and, get out of here. I have, yes. I'm sure the police probably, I don't know about there, but in America, the police would have to tell them, well, you're not violating any noise ordinances. And decency hours in America is usually 10 p.m. Yeah, get rid of the camera. What I would have done is turn the damn music up. At 3 p.m. in the day, I'm a jerk. I would have turned the music up. Ah, music's bothering you? Here, let me turn that up. So, because I'm a jerk, and I get it. I get it, man. I'm not a nice guy. I'm a bad guy. That's why I'm poor. Yeah, that's why I had to take my wife of 11 years out on a date because, I'm not a good guy. But, but yeah, poor lady had a brown spot in her yard. They fined her. Apparently went to court. She missed the court date. They threw her in jail. All over the news. I am a troublemaker. I'm a little bit of a, jerk. I gotta admit, if you really want to know the truth, especially when I was young and big and strong and tough, I never allowed anybody to, and I really did it when I was younger. And apparently I'm really good at intimidating people because of the way I look. Beep, Chucky, that's it. Dennis in the house, better than brown spot in your shorts. I agree. Can you believe that? It's a true story. It's in the news. I mean, she got arrested and thrown in jail. You want to beef? Yes, I'll beef with you, buddy. I'll knock your socks off. Hey, Dennis. Everybody said hello to Dennis. Dennis, how are you, man? What's going on in your world? How's the land in Canada? Is it cold there? Is it 4 feet of snow yet? It's cold here. But, yeah, so HOAs need to be taken away. They need to be done with, period. And one thing we did, when we moved here, we had a Facebook website, and we had a couple of Karens popping up. And I went on and called them Karens. Say, don't be a Karen, don't be a Darren. If you don't like living here, leave. Leave people alone is what I did. And somebody wrote back, well, I don't know what a Karen is. And I said, well, Google it. I'm a chill guy. Don't make trouble. Yeah, now that I'm old and I can't do anything, I still think I'm a badass, right? In my brain, I'm a badass, but physically, I can barely move from one chair to the other. But, yeah, I had a real problem when I was a young man. I would slap the snot shit out of you, and then we could talk about it. But you're going to get the snot shit slapped out of y'all. Dennis says, hello, everybody. It's good to see you. I am Dennis from the land of Canada. Good to see you, brother Dennis. Oh, Dennis, I got an update. Henry said that he was still dating Bai. So I think Bai, because I know people ask, Dennis and Bai apparently are still dating each other. So all good there. Hey, Dennis, sorry, Pat, how's it going with the new chick you found the other day? Dennis, how's it going with you two, by the way? Means is hello, Dennis. Good to see you. It's good to see another foreigner in here. That way I don't have to be the only foreigner in this American live stream, you know. But I don't like HOAs. The city can do it. And that we had somebody complain about something on the street and about the HOA should do something. And I wrote back saying, just call the city. It's a violation of city ordinance. They will take care of it. Or, you know, just do it. But I don't care. I don't know. So hopefully, if I can convince Lorelai the best thing for us to do next year is move from here. We're going to try very hard never to live in an HOA again, or a POA, or an A asshole, or anything else. We want to live free like they do. Dennis, let me ask you a serious question. Do you guys have those in Canada? What about Germany? Me? Do you guys have POAs or HOAs in your countries? I know they kind of have them in the Philippines, but they're kind of different in the Philippines, Tim. Well, she's having some good people and bad people. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, she's a girl, so she'll attract guys, and then they realize, who she is, and that they're not what they're looking for. And, yeah, that makes sense. But she's learned how to handle them. She does so many live streams that I'm sure she knows now how to handle them and deal with them. What that means? Property owners, it's actually POA, sorry. Instead of a piece of shit, it's Property Owners Association, or the other one is Home Owners Association. They're about the same. So basically, it's a neighborhood that is governed by its own little micro world. You and Henry stay quiet and just ask questions and by channel. Good. That's good, Pat. What happened to the 35-year-old you were chit-chatting with the other day? Anything? Man, I don't know what the hell's going on tonight with all the dogs. I feel like I'm in the Philippines. I mean, it's after dark. It's cold out. At least my dog's not one of them. We have a Land Cruiser. Okay. So would that be like there's a governing body that kind of sets out rules and guidelines for how your neighborhood is supposed to look and what people can and cannot do? Like here in America, they might dictate that your sheds can only be a certain side, or you can't park in the street, or you can't have work trucks. You can only have personal vehicles in your driveway. Oh, on Facebook? Okay. All right, good. Yeah, we hate them here because they have too much power. They have too much power in America where they can fine you, then they can take your house and sell it and put money in the coffers. And then you never know what's truly, you can't see the books. So you don't know how bad they're ripping you off. The sexy Filipina, is that her name, Pat? Or is that who she is? Now that you said that, we all want to see her. All right, the sexy Filipina. What Dennis and I want to see now. You're going to have to send me her link. We have a lot of good people to come to this channel. I mean, besides Meme, everybody's good. So you get good people and bad people. You guys all have figured out that the trolls don't stick around much. And there are, even, what I do think is funny, and I'll say this. The people that want to come on here, Pat, and I know, Pat, your beliefs, right? I know your beliefs. But what I think is interesting, the people that come on our live stream that want to preach about God and their religious beliefs they don't stay very long when I tell them we respect everybody's religion or not religion in this channel. They don't like that. They don't like, oh, well, if you don't think the way I think, then I don't want to be on your channel. Forget the fact that you respect me and everybody else and appreciate what everybody has to say, and you can have a conversation about anything. But since you don't believe the way I believe, I'm not coming here because you're bad. Here you can find one as long as there are on property. Okay, yeah. Sexy Filipinas here, thousands where Tim lives. That's right out the door. That's the one you all already talked to. Oh, is that the one that, oh, that one. Okay, yeah, she's a pretty girl. Pretty girl, very pretty. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I thought you meant a new one the other day. I believe in Dave. Yes, okay. I thought you found a new one that was 35 or something the other day. But I think it's interesting, these people that come on and they want to talk about their religious belief. But when you say, okay, that's great, you can do that, but you need to understand that everybody has a voice. They go away. They're like, well, I don't like that. I don't want to hear anybody else's version of God or religion or pizzas. I only want to hear my side of it, and I want everybody to agree with me. If not, then you guys are a bad channel and I'm going away. So I always find that interesting, how closed-minded, and I don't mean to pick on, deep believers, but so many deep believers are so closed-minded, it's unbelievable. You give up on, well, you need to go with the Filipina. You do. You're young, but you can get a really pretty Filipina because you're younger. You need to go after a Filipina. Pat says the sexy one's 30. Oh, all right. Well, I thought one of them was younger than. All right, Pat. Hey, they just need a server and an ATM. There you go. Does anybody even know what ATM stands for? I know what it stands for. Can anybody tell me what ATM stands for? If you get it right, I'll give you an autographed naked picture of myself. Just saying. But to be honest, Meme, if you really want a good wife, I think Filipinas make the best wives. I think most of us would agree with that. And you're younger, so you could still get a nice looking young one and have a lot of fun for good years. So, or you can go to Thailand, or Japan. I think I've been watching a lot of videos about Japan lately for some reason. But a lot of the girls seem to be kind of fake. I think they have a culture where they're faking who they are. Oh, Meme got it right. You got it right. Did you Google it, Meme? Did you cheat and Google it? Well, you're going to get a autographed picture of me butt naked, buddy. I'm going to send it to you. Ooh-wee. You're the only one that answered, right? So, I'm going to do a video here soon about the OFW workers, OFWs, because I got a story to tell about OFWs. I want to talk about OFWs. So, but I need to do a little video or something about that. That way I can say I still make videos besides live streaming. But it's all right. It's all right. How long have we been on here? Wow. All right. I am oftentimes in America. Well, you don't want to date an American woman. I mean, my recommendation is American women are no bueno, no good. I would skip that. Go to a different country like Colombia. Dennis is a big fan of Colombia and Mexico. I think they make better wives also than Americans. But go to Asia. Go to Asia. I know it's kind of like an agreement, right, that you guys do. You negotiate a deal. I marry you, you take care of me, you work, whatever. It's kind of like a contract, right? But I think you have a better chance of having somebody who's truly going to fulfill the contract, so to speak, from Asian country than you do a Western country, is what I think. But one of these days when you're in America, you need to look me up and we'll get together. I'll even buy you lunch, as long as it doesn't cost more than $10. But if you ever come to America, let me know. We'll try to hook up. Maybe I'll spend $11 on your lunch. It's always the same. The system is overall, yeah, it is the same. It just depends on what you like. I mean, a lot of dudes like white-skinned girls. A lot of guys like darker skin. A lot of guys like the cream skin. It's all about the vibe, what triggers your trigger. And I mean, when you get old like us, to be honest, it's not so much about what triggers your, the trigger's different. So what happens is what we look for in a girl when we're in our 20s is different than what we look for in a girl when we're in our 50s. It's a different thing we're looking for. Now, a lot of expats who are in their 60s and their 50s go looking for what they think they want about what they could have got when they were 20. But that's a bad decision. But they go after the 20s because they're like, oh man, I'm reliving my life. I got a little 20-year-old girlfriend. But that girlfriend they're not on the same page, I promise you. Yeah, with the senior discount, it's only $9. That's right, man. We get that $2 discount for the $11 meal. Skin doesn't matter for me, it's the vibe. I agree, but what I mean is what's attractive. I mean, it's like, redheads. Some people like redheads and some people don't. That's what I mean. And I think if you don't have a little bit of a fondness for how the women look, you're not going to open that door to find out who they are. Because what's inside does matter the most. But we're all human. We're all men. So we look at the arm candy first. We give it an arm candy factor. Because if the chick is butt ugly, we're going to bypass her, but she may be one of the greatest people in the world. But she may be butt ugly, and you're not going to talk to her. And that's just the honest truth, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the way it is. It just means that the butt ugly girl, who's really good human being, she will wind up with some butt ugly ass white guy or guy, or like me. She'll get married to some butt ugly ass guy, and he'll get lucky because he got one that's a good person. So if you're truly gonna look for what's inside, then you need to date the ugly chicks. So I'm just saying, right? If you're like, look, all I really care about is who the person is on the inside. Well, then date an ugly chick. Date a bunch of ugly chicks. They're probably the better people. Some of the really pretty girls know they're pretty girls, and they think they're, hoochie mama. You don't want to date a hoochie mama. But I watch some of these videos where the chicks are saying, well, the man needs to make $150,000 a year to date me. What? Are you freaking crazy? You know what? Between your legs ain't worth $150,000. You could take old happy ass down the street, And there's a thing on Joe Rogan. I saw a thing about on Joe Rogan's show the other day where there's a guy on there saying, I want to explain something to you. I walked down the street, and he's talking about Colombia, and I told Dennis this story. But the guy was saying, I go to Colombia, I walk down the street in Colombia, and I see women who are 9, 10s, and 11s working on the street, doing everyday jobs, just going about their lives, that you can walk up to, talk to, approach, and go out with no problem. They have no egos. They're easy to approach. They're welcoming the approach. But they're beautiful women. But in America, American women who are 5s, 6, and 7s, only, if they're lucky, they're a 7, won't give you the time of day unless you make $150,000 a year. Because they're brainwashed. But that's not necessarily at the end. More attractive for me is white girl with blonde hair. Okay, so you're going after the what we are, right? I dated white girls with blonde hair. That's why I don't have one, because I dated them. Not necessarily. I am happier alone than with a wife. I don't disagree with you. No woman, no. I agree. Look, and I've told this, and I mean this. I love my wife, and I'm happy being married. Is it a struggle sometimes? Sure. Especially when she keeps asking me, what did they do on the TV? What happened? You know, but I'm absolutely 1,000 convinced of this. For some reason, if my wife passed away, even with my bad health, I would not ever remarry again. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't want to have that bonding tie for everything I have to do. I don't want to have to answer questions. I don't want to have to get permission. I don't, I got married at the age 47, right? And so for 47 years, I did whatever the hell I wanted to do, when I wanted to do, how I wanted to do. When you get married, you can't do that. And it's okay, you get adjusted to it. But I gotta say, even though, we're fine in our relationship, it took us a while to get that happy balance, but I would never go through that again. I would never go through the process of figuring out how to cohabitate peacefully with somebody ever again. Just wouldn't do it. Yeah, Tim's right. Most people and women worldwide want security and a way out of poverty or from low income bracket. I agree. But these chicks out here that are 6, 7s, and 8s in America, all over the internet, saying, "Well, I need a guy that makes 150,000 a year, 200,000," but they don't realize that the average pay in America is $60,000, only $60,000, guys, and they don't have jobs themselves. Go get a job yourself then. So I feel bad for them because I think their bubble is going to burst. You know, women, and this may get me fired from YouTube, but I traditionally, women don't get better looking the older they get. So women have a short window, I think. 18 to 35 is their best years, best looking years. After that, they start going downhill. Compared to men, the older we get, we still look good. We get better looking sometimes. I mean, we really do. A lot of men age very well, unless they're married. So I never go through a marriage, and I never will. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a tough one. Commingling your finances is tough, and it can be worth it. I'm very happy that I got married, but I'm just saying, if she passed away, I would never get married again. There are no traditional women here right now. Well, Meme, let me kind of ask you this. From your perspective, what is a traditional woman? Because I don't know if I know what a traditional woman is anymore. In America, it's been so screwed up with this woke ideology and all this other bullshit. I don't know what a traditional woman is anymore. Tim says, I have dated women who were very wealthy, and I have too. I've dated chicks that had more money come out of their nose than I had, and I didn't have a problem with it. I don't care they have more money. I tell my wife, I'm one of these guys, look, if my wife can make more money than I do, go for it. Even when I had a job, I told Lorelai when we got married, she went, I want to work in business. I said, that's great. And then she started hearing about, oh man, American men get mad if their wife makes more. I'm like, no. If you can go make 100 grand, 200 grand, go do it. Hell, more power to you. The more you make, the better it is. But I'm not saying all American women have this weird ideology about what's between their legs is so valuable that they should get paid 150 grand a year. Not all of them, because I've seen some videos where some girls are going, well, I really don't care what he makes, as long as he has motivation. He's a hard worker, and he wants to grow and learn, because that's what I want. I'm willing to work for my future. And that makes a good couple. But a lot of these chicks just really believe what between their legs. So they're basically being a hooker. All right, if you got to make 150 grand a year to be with me, aren't you just saying you're a whore? Aren't you just saying you're a hooker? So, but It's just not realistic. Okay. So that's kind of the same thing here, me. A traditional woman here would also be, could stay home, take care of the house and the kids. I agree. It would be, I agree. That's what I would consider, I guess, a traditional woman. But that is so, that, I don't know, man. I think that is so far down the reality in America, unless you're wealthy. I don't think women think that way in America anymore. I don't know. I don't think they go, oh, well, I want to stay home and take care of the kids in the house. They may say, well, I want to stay home and go shopping and be spoiled and put on a pedestal, but I'm not going to support the husband, meaning cook his food, clean the house, when he comes home, have dinner ready, take care of things to make the breadwinner, the person who's making the money, life better, which is what I think. I think a good wife or a good husband makes the other person's life easier and better. So a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home husband, that should be their job. That person's making the money. You need to do your part to help that person make the money. I dated a lady and only no fans, no cheating. Yeah, there you go. No OnlyFans, no cheating. Man, I'm with you. Unless they made a lot of money, then I might think about it. I dated a lady that made more money before lunch one day than I made all month. Yes. Jimmy says traditional women is one who is feminine. Yes. Friendly. Yes. Agreeable. Yes. We don't mean that always agrees with you 1,000%, but they have agreeable personality. A helpmate who sees her husband as the king, so as the head of the household. And that's what, and look, and that's what I mean. I agree with you. My feeling actually is more money you have, the more bitches that come. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So I agree with that. And what a lot of these girls, because I don't think they're women, I think they're girls out on the street running their mouths about this. I don't think they understand how the reality of the world. Because if that guy has 150 grand, or at least 200 grand, if he's rich, if he's a millionaire, one, why would he want you? Two, he may just kick your scrawly ass to the curb when he gets done playing with you. So it doesn't make sense sometimes. These people that are doing this, they think they're going to win the lottery, I guess. But what are you going to do when the guy says, I'll just find somebody else because you're too big of a pain in the ass? What between your legs is not worth me putting up with your stupid ass anymore. So hit the road, Jack, and don't come back. I feel bad for some of these girls that you see on the internet running their mouths because I think they're short-sighted and stupid. I really do. And I think all they're doing is sending a giant red flag out. Because who would want that? Who would care about money, over love? I don't know. Women are delusional. There you go. That's a good way to say it. They are delusional. I think they're delusional. And this is what I'll say. I think Filipino women peacock too much, but I don't think they're super delusional. I think the young girls are starting to become delusional, but I don't think Filipinas, for the most part, are delusional in the way Western women are. But the biggest thing I don't like about the Filipino women is the peacocking. That wears me out. Right. That's kind of what I was saying, but I think you said it better, Jimmy. It's sad that the modern women don't realize that the man they dream worthy have thousands of other women wanting them. That's correct. So what do they bring to the table? Is it because you got nice boobs and nice legs? Well, you know what? There's 1,000 other girls that have the same. And they're probably not going to run their stinking mouth as much, or beg so much. Did I e-beg yet today? Remember, everybody, if you know anybody that wants to give me $5 million to buy a house with for my wife, let me know. I got to make sure I always e-beg. Women think they can stand on their own. Women, yeah, I think there's two sides of that coin. I do think there's a lot of women, Western women, who think they're the boss. They want to be the boss. They don't want to be a helpmate. They want a boss, and they want their husband to be under them, 1,000%. And then I do. I think there's a lot of that. Then I also think there's the other side of that coin where there's some of them that are just not gonna want to work. Not they don't want to function. They want to live off of the man is what they want. They're wanting a free ride in life because they think what's between their legs is so good. So in America, those are the two prominent types of women. The ones that want to dominate and control, and the ones that want a free ride. Pat's going, oh man, holy shit and butt farts. Jimmy, you're right. I think that happens more. If you watch some of these videos out there where these girls are talking about how they dumped their husband and they realize, holy shit, or, they've been playing the field for so long and now they're older. Like I said, I believe, women's best years are 18 to 35 and it's probably 18 to 30. So they better take advantage of that. But they get their heads so filled with this, hey, what between my legs is so damn good that every man wants it, that I can play these games. And you're right, they wake up at 40 and go, well, shit, I got nothing. And now I got to figure out how to live and pay my bills and work. And I watch some of these court shows too. One thing I've been surprised about watching these court videos is how many women now have lost that the man is taking care of the kids. How many men now raise the children, and the wives, the ex-wives, the mothers, the baby mamas are dysfunctional, not taking care of the kids. Pat says true. Then these older women become bitter. Yes, they do. And tell the younger one how bad men, that's right. I agree. They're messing up the cycle. It's one of these evil cycles that they get into because those women are so bitter and pissed off and they blame men versus themselves because it's their fault. They had many opportunities to be happy, but they chose not to be. I got a friend now. She's in her late 60s. She's this way. She's ran into guys over the years who are really good guys. But now she's alone, old and alone. Yeah, Pat's right. Sometimes they get their heads twisted and brainwashed. They do. Boss, as long as the environmental works, give them 24 hours, like want to see the independent women, then no water comes from the faucet. Jimmy, even the day laborers outside Home Depot have women at home that help them with the heart. I agree. I think there's a great value to that, Jimmy. I do. Lorelai works because she likes to work and we can use the money. And I actually do, in our house, I definitely am the head of the household without any question. But I cook food a lot, make sure Lorelai has food to go, and I do the laundry because I don't have a job. And so I stay home, but I do the laundry, clean up the house. Lorelai and I both clean the house. I'm never very good at that. But I do a lot of the cooking. And I think it's kind of my way of showing support for her. Plus, what else am I doing? But Lorelai is the opposite. If she didn't have to work or didn't have a job that she enjoyed, she would stay home and take care of everything. Even with me not having a job, Lorelai would be the one taking care of everything. That's what she did in the Philippines. That's partly why I was so bored in the Philippines, because Lorelai took care of everything. She didn't mind. She'd swept, mop, cook, clean, did the laundry, everything. Had no problem doing it. My ex got her head twisted, brain twisted, watching others. Yeah, and I've seen that. We have a lot of girls here, Pat, in our Philippine American community, Pat, over the years, that I've actually seen get their head twisted. They start to think, oh my God, I can have something better than what I got. There's more, I tell the story about this one chick that when I met Lorelei, I used to have a house with a pool, and we had a lot of pool parties, and because I know a lot of Filipinos, and I grew up around them, and so once somebody figured out or heard that I started to talk to Lorelei and I was going to go to the Philippines, this one particular girl told, my really good friend Margie, the Filipina that I knew the best, said, "Hey, I didn't know that David wanted a Filipina. It's like, if you could talk him into taking me, I will dump my husband and come live here at his house with him." And I told Margie, and she told me this, and I'm like, well, why in the hell would I do that? Why would I want to take somebody who's going to abandon their husband because there's a better opportunity financially with me? I don't want that. Cheated and divorced? Yes. Told her to get out, and you do. You got to stand your own ground. You can't put up with crap. I know another girl who came over but got hooked up with a drunk. I don't blame her for leaving him, but what I do blame is she's dead now, so I can't blame her too much. But what I'll tell you is she never, and she knew that he was a bad alcoholic. She never had any intentions of being, and she was a pretty girl, very pretty Filipina, big boobs, great body. I'm talking hot. She never had any intentions of being his wife very long. Her intention was to get to America, dump his dumb ass, and find a better husband. And she did, and then she wound up dead. So I know these stories, Pat, firsthand. I know these people that have gone through this. I know men who their wives ran off with somebody else because they thought they found something better. But I also know Filipinas that have stuck with their husbands through thick and thin. So the hard stuff that runs the environment is done by men. Yeah, I don't disagree. We all talk about, look, I like to think if a woman can do the same job as the man, then she deserves the exact same pay. But, okay, I saw this thing on the internet, I don't know, Joe Rogan, some show where they're like, okay, well, women want a job, they need jobs, great. We have a lot of jobs. We need people to go lay concrete. We need people to weld. We need people to build buildings. We need a lot of people to do these jobs. Well, the women don't want them. They don't want those jobs. They may want the money, but they don't want the jobs. And I don't blame them for not wanting to lay concrete, right, or frame a house. But it's good money. It's honest work. They would be hired if they could do the job, which they could, right? They say they can. So why do they turn these jobs down? That's the question I have. Is like, okay, well, you say you can do any job a man can do. Right there. The construction field is in great need of workers. We need people in the mines, the coal mines. There you go. I agree. On the oil rigs, I agree. The jobs are there, but it's not what they want. They talk tough. They talk big. We deserve the exact same pay. Well, great. Go do the exact same job. It's okay. If you can weld and be a good welder, then you do deserve the same pay without question. Nobody gives a shit what's between your legs when it comes to work. Can you do the job? That's the question. And if you can do the job, then you get the pay. Nobody cares what's between your legs. That's how I look at it. That big ordeal about the firefighter, remember the female person that they hired, but she couldn't carry a human, which doesn't make any sense because part of to pass the test is you got to be able to drag somebody out of a fire, right? And she couldn't do it. But they hired her anyway. That's correct. They want equal rights as long as it serves them. So, well, all right, my friends, it's 8:30 at night here. Why don't we start winding this down? It's getting chilly outside, and I better go inside and check on my dog Lily. And so let's say thanks again for everybody being here. If you didn't give us a thumbs up yet, please do. We appreciate Meme and Pat. We do. And Jimmy, Dennis, everybody that was here earlier. Got mosquitoes coming after me. We appreciate all the channels that came in, all the new people. Hopefully we got some subscribers. So let's say goodbye, good night to Missy, Tim in the house, of course. Who else? A lot of people scrolling up here. All right, my friends. All right, my friends. Everybody say good night. Have a good evening, and hopefully we'll see you later this week. Jimmy, take care. Pat, take care. See you next time, everybody. See ya.